and mute everybody. Hold on. All right, everybody. Welcome and thank you for returning after our break. We needed to take a break for some personal reasons, so appreciate your understanding. And as always, we really appreciate each of you choosing to take the time to be with us and to really take the time on your own behalf to learn what does it mean to love yourself and how incredible the power is of self-love as the greatest force of healing and creation on earth. I mean, it's truly extraordinary. And I think it's what we're going to talk about today is really, really important because as an aspect of our human experience of all that we are, the topic of people want their lives to change, but do not want to change their lives really will bring up a lot of, understandings and a way for you to look at, what you want to change in your life to experience all that you are differently. So Marilyn is going to take the lead today. I'm going to turn it over to her. If you have questions when we get to the question time, remember you can use the chat. You could raise your hand. You are now muted. So give us a moment to get you unmuted if you do want to speak during the question time, and we welcome the questions. So let's get started. Mary?
Well, it's good to see you again. I'm sorry with the time change, it's a little odd for people coming from all parts of the world, but it's good to see you. So sometimes we want our lives to change, but we're unwilling to make the choices to change our lives. That is a truth I think each of us experiences without sometimes knowingly and sometimes not knowingly. There are aspects of our lives that we're unhappy with and we complain about them, which is human, and we talk about them. But what steps are we going to take to actually make the changes so that the energy of change becomes real, becomes part of your experience? So let's talk about the health and the body to start. I've worked with many people. An issue many people have is, I would love to lose weight. Just like that. Sometimes it's, I need to lose 150 pounds. Sometimes I need to lose 25 pounds. It doesn't make a difference. But when I come forward, having connected to their bodies and being aware of what they have to eat differently, they have to, something as simple as drinking 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. It is mind-boggling how many people have excuses why they can't drink water. I don't like the taste, I'll forget, I'll have to go to the bathroom all the time. And it's like, if it's that simple to be able to begin a weight loss program and you have to put aside everything else but water, why is that such a great sacrifice? You would rather complain about it. You don't want to make the change. You just want it to change. Magic. Boom, I lost 25 pounds. It doesn't work that way. So it's an interesting thing. Some people, I tell them, you need to take these vitamins. Your body is weak or lacking in certain areas. Oh, I won't take vitamins. It's a very interesting thing, the human resistance to change, to just changing patterns. I mean, I know that I see it in myself, just changing patterns of behavior. Like I come home from work, I'm really tired, I quickly put dinner together, and then I sit like a vegetable in front of the television for an hour before it's time to get ready for bed or something like that. And I resent that 1 hour of wasted time. And I have to be honest with you, I haven't yet made the choice to take the action to make the change. So I go to bed and I'm a little frustrated with myself over and over and over and over again. This is a minor thing, but the truth is it diminishes even my self-love. Because if I were to listen to myself, it's my heart that's unhappy with that choice, I would make that change. And I know that I'm working on it, and I've committed because I've already told people when I come home from work before dinner, I'm going to do some Tai Chi. Don't know how to do Tai Chi. Have to learn how to do Tai Chi. It's going to fill up some time, but it's going to get me moving. It's going to delay the time sitting in front of the television. It's going to make me feel like I'm doing something for myself as an act of love. But it is making the choice to make the change, because it is so easy to fall into just patterns of behavior and be resistant to any form of change. Now, I've been addressing minor situations, such as losing a few pounds and just drinking water or taking vitamins, or even my own personal experience. But what if you're unhappy at work? There are so many things that we do when we're unhappy. Work is a big chunk of time for us. I mean, let's face it, we're at work a minimum of 8 hours a day, and that doesn't include travel. If we're unhappy at work and we go day after day after day, and we're in this routine, and we're truly unhappy, it's one thing to constantly complain about it and talk about it. It's another thing to take action. And that's what you're telling your heart. By taking action, your heart will start bringing you new opportunities. So as an example, you go onto a website and you start searching for other opportunities. You start reaching out beyond the scope of limitation. You don't even limit yourself to a location. You just throw it out there. You don't have to accept it if something pops up, but it just is talking to you and telling your heart, yes, I want to make change. I am taking a step towards making change, and everything starts to change energetically as a result of that. But it is that we have to be willing to change our lives in order to have change be a part of the experience and find that moment of joy that we are seeking. Chris.
You know, there's so many different things to talk about with this. I think the first thing I like to talk about is, why don't we make changes? And I think fundamentally, one thing you have to look at is that question of what benefit do you get from the way your life is structured right now, relative to the thing or the things that you might want to change? Because we get benefits from everything. We even get benefits from illness. People take care of us. We get benefits from, sometimes we have a job we don't like or a boss we don't like. And the benefit we get is we externalize our feelings about that person or that company to our family members when we come home. It's a way we vent our frustrations, our problems, rather than recognize that that company, that boss, that parent, that whoever that you don't change your relationship with is your heart. And it is your heart talking to you. And it is your heart trying to reach you. So the more aggravating it is, the more, you go home and you vent about it. It's truly your heart trying to get your attention and say, is this how you want to love yourself? And at some point, the heart escalates and really places before you very powerful reasons or choices to change. In other words, illness. In other words, someone says you're going to lose your job if, something happens, So that escalation is just your heart, right? Really bringing before you the answer to what you're asking for. Because on the one hand, you're asking for a different life experience. Maybe it's, like I said, at work, or it could be your home life. It could be your partner. It could be your children. It could be your parent. You're asking for that to be different. But at the same time, by not changing your choices of how you are interacting with that aspect of your life, you're holding on to it. So the heart escalates the change, the choice to change. Now, you need to make the choice. And so that's this point of, people want their lives to change, but do not want to change their lives, because that is the unknown. If I'm in a job I don't like and I have a boss that's frustrating me, what I do know is I have a job and someone's going to, pay me money, and that's going to help take care of my expenses, whatever. So we hold on to it. We hold on to those benefits and even the benefits of venting our frustration. But at a certain point, the heart will really call you to say, what choice do you want to make? Like I said, it could be an illness that pushes you there, it could be something else. And I want to posit one thing to everybody here that I've been thinking about that's relative to this, and relative to this massive experience we are having of COVID-19. I believe we can look at this experience we've all been going through as what happens when you make a choice to change. Because essentially, when you let go of something in order to get to the new shore, you have to go through the unknown. It's like being in the fog. You no longer can come home and complain to your spouse about your boss. If you're going to make the choice to recognize that's my heart, okay, heart, it's up to me how I'm going to handle speaking to myself at work, handling my work. I have to let go of that. And when I let go of that, I don't have that time. I don't have that way of interacting, of speaking, of being. And you know what? It's a little confusing, because you don't know at that point, what's it going to feel like when you fully let go of those ways of being in the world that reinforce that old choice. And it takes time to get from one shore to the other. And I believe on a massive level, our heart here on earth has put all of us into that unknown through this experience. And we don't know yet, what will it look like when we get to the other shore? And when will we get there as a world? And many people talk about this. Will we go back to our old patterns? Will we all work in offices again? Will we move across country to be closer to our family because we miss them? Will we change so many fundamental things as a result when we get to the other side of this? So this is a way you can all understand that making a choice to change is something you have to do in order to experience something different. You have to give up the benefits of what you had and just trust your heart that during the transition, you will be okay, but it will feel different. It will look different. It will feel different. You will be acting differently. And as a result, the people in your life, maybe who you came home from work and complained to every day, or your close friends who you complain about your parents or whatever, they will think something's odd. Why aren't you doing it anymore? It will be different. But just know you're on the way to the other shore. And every day that you stick and stand by the choice to change, you reinforce that you're no longer choosing for your heart. You're no longer choosing that old pattern. And slowly but surely, the heart will realize it, and the fog will clear, and you will start to see the new shore and feel that changed life. But that's essentially the process that goes with making that choice, and you're the only one who can make it in terms of how you choose to look at the choices you've been making and change them. And they don't even have to be complicated.
It's interesting because I'm sure each of us has in our lives a person with whom we have interactions that are not happy, they're not comfortable. And I've had those, obviously, myself, because we all experience the same thing. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of forethought, and it takes a lot of self-control. But to be able to stand before another person who is either negative or abusive or just whatever your personal situation is, you have the opportunity, and it does change a pattern of behavior, to say, I don't like this way that we are communicating. I would like it to change. And if you cannot change it with me, I want to end this conversation. It is a totally neutral choice on your part. There's no emotion behind it. The other person is usually a little flustered by that. But if you do it a few times, it could be a parent that you're talking to. This isn't the way I choose to love myself. Hearing you talk to me this way. It could be a child, the way the child reacts to you. This conversation isn't loving. It isn't honoring either of us. Let's get back together when we're both more peaceful. And it can be with people that are just simply acquaintances of yours. I am not enjoying this interaction. I do want to be able to speak with you more civilly, or more, however, whatever your word is. So let's separate for now, and let's get back together and talk about this issue. It takes courage, but unless you're willing to make that change and step forward and speak your truth, the most powerful word, I think, be in your truth, but be in your truth neutrally, not with anger, not with resentment, and believe it or not, not even with humor, because it is simply neutral. This is not what I want. I'm sure it is not what you want. Let's figure out how to do this together. It's changing patterns, changing the way we speak, the way we listen, the way we behave, everything. If any part of our lives is creating any form of conflict, we can turn around and make new choices and change our lives. The person responsible for changing your life is not outside of yourself, it is you. You are 100% responsible for your experience. Now, of course, there are moments in life that we feel like we're out of control. Those moments happen. How you respond to them is within your control. So you can respond with disappointment, with anger, with rage even, but you can also respond with acceptance, allowance, and peace. It is a choice. And the words sound kind of trite and simple, but practice, because you'll be surprised. The patterns of behavior keep repeating themselves until you have it down. You're constantly telling your heart, this is how I choose to love myself. And you have to make the changes that are necessary to bring yourself to that place of peace, of joy, of grace, of acceptance without judgment. Any questions? Sandra.
Hi, everyone. I always have this question or thought about when things happen, whether I should be accepting the situation, the perfection of it, or whether I should be acting and trying to change it. And how do you resolve that? How do you know when it's something that it's perfect and does not need anything, even though it may bother me, but I say, well, this is reflecting something that I need to work on. But how do I decide whether should I act on this or should I make internal changes and then the situation will change itself? That's kind of my question.
Well, it really depends upon the circumstance. This is a very abstract conversation. Every experience we have has great purpose. Every experience we have offers us opportunity for choices and change. So for circumstances that are changing before you and you're like, well, I don't know how I feel about this, feel the comfort of it. Feel how you feel. Be honest with yourself. This is not a happy choice for me. How will I either change the circumstance or change myself within it if I don't have a choice in the environment that I am in? To choose one or the other doesn't always work, but how you react to it is within your control. So for example, if a spouse gets a job in another part of the city or the country or the world, right? You don't want to move. Something as big as that. For many reasons, you may have no choice as a family to make that change. The unhappiness that you have, you're leaving friends, you're leaving family, you have a job here, whatever it is, you have to decide how you will react to that, how maybe you can make accommodations. But there's opportunities in all moments, in every circumstance. So find the positivity in what is coming and the positivity in what is, and figure it out for yourself. But be in your truth and be able to communicate fully. These are my feelings. This is how I feel. This isn't a change that will make me happy. And see if there's some form of compromise that can come as a result of that. But honestly, without knowing directly what the situation is, the circumstances, is very abstract conversation. Sorry.
No, thank you. No, it happens to me in different situations. So it's not exactly one situation or another, but I always find myself kind of, well, this is perfect, so I should accept it, and then how do I make the changes that I need to if I accept the situation? That's kind of always the tension that I find.
Well, the perfection is the opportunity to learn something. And once you really feel that you've learned something, those circumstances will not repeat themselves. You know what I mean? So the perfection isn't what happened. The perfection is the opportunity of learning. What am I telling myself? What am I learning from this? What is going on here? And then coming into it. And once you start discovering the truth of that and working on it, those moments won't be repeated anymore. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? All right.
Wait, before we switch, Mary, I'd like to jump in. We have a couple minutes, I think. On this issue of changing our lives, the simplest tool that we share is the greatest free vitamin of all. And that is that act of self-love of every single day, taking time to tell yourself what you love about yourself. And, it's a perfect example of people wanting their lives to change, but not taking even that simple free vitamin every single day without fail, committing to yourself that at the very core, what you want to change is just how you spend time by choice, loving everything you are. And as I tell people, you can do this if you're in the shower, you can do this when you're driving your car. This is just something you simply can do in a moment or two, 3 of free time you have in a day when you're walking from one place to the next. And take the time to do 10 things you love about yourself every single day without fail. So changing your life doesn't always have to be massive, okay? You can identify the simplest things, commit to them, and do them. And even in other areas, once you've made that commitment fuels everything. Loving yourself fuels every change you want to have happen in your life, because none of it can come from the outside. None of it can come from the outside. Everything comes from within your choice. So that tool is symbolic of making choices to change, even in other areas of your life. Don't make them massive. Don't think they have to be huge. You could start, if you're having, your work life where you struggle with your boss, you could start by saying, okay, each day, even though I'm so angry at this boss, I'm going to make sure I say hello. I'm going to make sure I greet this person just with peace. And no matter what response I get, I will do that every single day. So just realize the heart will follow your actions. The heart does not need massive action to lead to change. The heart needs direction. So even small choices, even small, what seemingly small actions, there is no such thing as small or large, but even what seems to us on earth as small, the heart knows then, oh, this is how he wants to love himself. This is how she wants to love herself. And the heart will follow, and the world around you will change. So that's what I wanted to share.
Can I just make a quick follow-up on that? So even if it feels, because you said how, I'm going to say in peace, greet this person who, bothers me, but how do you get to that point? Because otherwise you may be totally like not being truthful, because you may be forcing yourself to feel that way while you still don't have that feeling or emotion. So that could be counterproductive at the end, because you're really feeling something very different inside, and then you're trying to force yourself to be peaceful. So that, how do you deal with that?
Sandra, I have done a lot in my life. I use the term fake it till you make it. If we create a behavior that may feel insincere to us, but we know that the goal is to find that peace, you just keep pushing that behavior towards the peace over and over and over again. All of a sudden, one day you forget about the animosity and the anger. You'll come to a place of neutrality. And that, in a circumstance such as you have a difficult relationship, or it's a person that you do not respect for any reason or admire, at least a place of neutrality is a good place to be, because it doesn't create any tension, any energy of pain. It is simply acceptance. And to come to a place of acceptance, Sandra, you are aware, of course, living in the United States, the craziness we've just experienced through this election, and the division between people who, even within a family, because different people had different political views. But to come to a place of just acceptance, I can't change who you are, you can't change who I am, we will coexist, and we will simply find a place where we can stand on the same ground. And you just fake it and fake it and fake it. We work in a company where we have employees who have such differing points of view, and we stay neutral. This conversation is not allowed, it's not acceptable. If you do your work, I will respect you. That kind of thing. We have to find that place within ourselves. Otherwise, we're going to always find reasons to find pain. And we have to let go of the pain. We have to, in order to be healthy and strong and in a state of self-love.
I have to jump in on that with a simple tool, and then Maha will take your question. Just put your face on their face. There's nobody else here but you. So in that moment, how do you want to interact with yourself? And if it is as simple as hello in the morning, start there. Just put your face on their face. Everywhere you go, You are making a choice in that moment of how you love yourself, and work with that. And I think that will lead you to find it more peaceful to say, you know, if I'm looking in the mirror, Chris, here's how I want to talk to you. Maha, did you have a question? We got to unmute you, Maha. Hold on. Unmute yourself.
Won't this lead to suppression when we do like this, when we fake till we make it? Suppression of emotions?
No, because you are aware of your truth. You're aware of your truth. What you're changing is the energy that is coming outside. So, you know, I'm trying to think of an example. I harbor within myself anger towards a person, but the person doesn't have to deal with my anger. The person simply wants to be there and have a conversation with me. So I will put a smile on my face and I will fake a positive interaction. And what happens is, as you repeat that behavior over and over again, and you'll find that the anger lightens and lightens and lightens every time. Because if we follow every emotion with a true strong behavior, we will simply be out of control. We can control how we are in this world. And when you fake it till you make it, you will make it. And then you're kind of releasing the emotions as you go. There's no suppression because you're still acknowledging the truth. Wow, I really do not enjoy being with her. I do not enjoy these conversations. But you smile and you say hello and you shorten the time that you're together. You'll find that you'll be able to slowly be in this person's presence, and you won't find that agitation as strong, and it lightens and lightens, and you have made it to a point of absolute, doesn't matter anymore. I don't care anymore. And it is a place of neutrality.
But I would also encourage you during that time where you're making that choice to move through those feelings, you need to be working on what is my heart asking me about how I want to love myself. So, you know, you're doing the work as well as reacting to that situation in that moment with a choice. So there's, you know, the continual work for your heart, because they are your heart asking you to look at how you want to love yourself. So there's multiple things, I think, going on in that moment of the physical interaction choice, but all the work you're doing during and after that.
Okay, the internal focus should be there on me.
Yes, absolutely. That's the joy, the joy of it.
And something to learn. Every opportunity to learn is presented before us.
Yeah. I think we have to get started, Mara. We're going to finish
Thank
today.
you.
Okay, meditation time. All right. So make yourselves comfortable. Okay. Breathe in deeply, hold it, and let it out long and slow. And once again, inhale deeply, hold it as long as you can. And as you release this breath, release all thought, let go, let it all simply be. And we'll do it a third time. Inhale, hold it, and as you let go, feel your body relax. Place yourself someplace upon the earth where you are most comfortable. Feel your body relax. Feel the environment that you have chosen for yourself. Perhaps on top of the mountain, in the coolness of the air, beautiful vistas all around, perhaps by a waterfall or a flowing brook, listening to the sounds, the smells, perhaps on a beach with the waves and the saltiness in the air, or in a field of flowers, or deep in a forest. We each have our place of peace. Find your place of peace. And imagine that as you sit and as you rest here, you put yourself in a bubble. Feel yourself, surround yourself, and be in a bubble that is of yourself, your love, your peace, just the you that you are. Nothing and no one else is here. Just the perfection and the magic that is you. And feel yourself relax in this state of absolute acceptance and oneness with self. Allow yourself to understand how this feels. It is simple. It is just perfection. There is nothing intruding in your thoughts or your heart. You can bring this with you in all moments. It takes but a moment of thought. But for now, let us begin to heal. Bring to your thoughts a circumstance in your life that creates challenge. It could be a person, it could be an environment, it could be a situation. Bring it into your thoughts and ask your heart in this bubble, ask your heart, what am I to learn from this person, from this circumstance, from this experience? And listen to your inner voice answer. And as you hear the answer, thank your heart for bringing it forward. And make an aware choice, a conscious choice to learn in this moment what you need to learn. That you will remember this moment and this teaching that you are getting from your heart. And then let it go. Let it go and have it leave the bubble. And make the choice as you watch it float away, that in the next time you have this experience return, remember what you are learning and bring that learning to the experience, and the experience will change. Most of us have multiple experiences of challenge. It can be at work, it can be at home, it can be relationships, even with those we love. Bring another one into the bubble. Imagine it and ask your heart, what am I learning from this interaction, from this experience? And listen. As you hear these words, know that your heart is speaking truth, and make the choice to remember this teaching. But as the experience recreates itself, you will have a peaceful path through these moments of understanding the experience. Let it go. Let it leave your bubble and float away, knowing that as it brings itself back, you will handle it better, more peacefully, more neutrally, without judgment, for you are learning and you are allowing the teaching of your heart to guide you. Once again, do it one more time. A circumstance, a person, an experience that creates agitation, that makes you feel that you are in less control than you are. Bring it into the bubble of your heart and ask what you are learning from this experience, and let your heart speak to you. Thank your heart for this teaching and this sharing. And let it go. Let go of the experience. Let it go through the edges of the bubble and out into the universe, knowing that as it comes back into your reality, you will handle it in a new way. You have a new choice, for you are understanding the teaching that it presents, the learning that your heart is bringing you. Remember, the more you choose to respond by listening to what it is you need to learn, the more what you need to learn will fade away, for you will have learned it. And your heart is your greatest guide. Love yourself in all moments. As you float in this bubble, feel the peace that you are, the magnificence that you are, the perfection that you are. You are always in this bubble of light. And I bring you back to that place of absolute peace that you have upon the earth. Feel where you are once again, whether you are on the top of a mountain or upon a beach or in a field of flowers or alongside flowing waters. It matters not where you are, for you are here, back at your home, your haven, your place of peace, and most importantly, where your heart has brought you. When you are ready, rejoin us. Open your eyes and keep this with you, the bubble that is your perfection, your magnificence, your self-love. Namaste. Thank you all for joining us today. We love you all.